The city was alive with lights, a glowing symphony of neon signs reflecting off rain-slick streets, and yet inside the confines of a quiet, upscale apartment, a storm raged that no one could see. Wang had always believed that love was a battlefield where persistence and passion were enough to conquer any obstacle, but tonight, everything he thought he knew about Bai Lu, about their connection, and about the fragile line between loyalty and desire would be tested in a way he had never imagined. He sat at the edge of the couch, fingers trembling slightly, phone in hand, as he stared at the last message from Bai Lu. He had reached out repeatedly, pouring his heart out, recalling every moment of their shared past, the laughter, the late-night drives, the whispered promises, and yet her reply had arrived cold and deliberate, a crushing declaration that shattered the fragile hope he had clung to for so long. Dylan, the message had read, brief but absolute. I cannot be what you want. I cannot continue this with you. My heart belongs elsewhere. Joseph Zeng has shown me the stability, the patience, and the care I need. I hope you can understand. The words blurred before Dylan's eyes. He could not process them at first. The room seemed to tilt, the walls closing in as he tried to grasp the reality of what she had just told him. Joseph Zeng, the calm and collected figure who had always been present but in the shadows, had claimed the place Dylan had thought was his alone. It was not just a rejection. It was a seismic shift, a high-stakes ultimatum that left the most iconic pairing in the industry crumbling behind closed doors. Dylan's mind raced through the months, trying to understand when the tides had turned, when Bai Lu had begun to lean towards someone else, when her laughter had started echoing in ways that no longer belonged to him. He remembered the arguments, the near misses, the moments of doubt, and suddenly they seemed to fit together like pieces of a puzzle he had never wanted to solve. And yet, even in the face of this devastating revelation, he refused to surrender entirely. He dialed her number, the vibration of the phone on the table echoing in the quiet room like a heartbeat. The call went unanswered. He tried again, his voice growing desperate as he left messages, each one more raw, more pleading, more personal than the last. Bai Lu, I need you. I know we've had our struggles, but we can fix this. I can fix this. Please don't shut me out. Please don't let this end like this. Hours passed. The night deepened, the city outside growing quieter, yet the storm within Dylan raged unchecked. And then, finally, a response came, a private, unfiltered message that he had longed for yet dreaded. The transcript that would forever be etched in his memory. Dylan, I have thought about us, about everything we have shared, and I cannot continue. You are passionate, reckless, and intense, but I have realized that what I need now is steadiness, reliability, someone who does not leave me questioning the future every day. Joseph Zeng has given me that. I am grateful for what we had, but I cannot sacrifice my own peace and my own happiness for the chaos of the past. This is my choice, and I hope one day you can respect it. Dylan stared at the screen, each word a dagger, each sentence a confirmation of the reality he had feared yet could not face fully until this moment. The air seemed heavier, the room darker, as if the walls themselves mourned the collapse of a love story that had once seemed invincible. He remembered the moments when Bai Lu had smiled at him in ways that made the world fade, when their hands had touched and it felt like nothing could ever come between them, and now all of it seemed like a dream fading at dawn. The news spread quickly among the inner circles of the industry. Fans speculated, journalists whispered, and social media exploded with reactions. Some were shocked, some sympathetic, but all were captivated by the raw, private exchange that had revealed the fragility of love at the highest stakes. The debate was relentless. Was Bai Lu's decision cold or courageous? Was Dylan Wang's heartbreak inevitable, or had he somehow failed to see the signs? Every angle was dissected, every detail magnified, and yet the truth remained intensely personal, a secret that had been revealed only in the final, private confrontation. Dylan could not stop himself from revisiting every interaction, every moment, every glance he had shared with Bai Lu, searching desperately for clues, for moments where he could have changed the outcome. And yet, Even in the depths of his sorrow, he recognized the bravery in her decision, the clarity she had found, the willingness to choose stability and peace over passion and uncertainty. It was not betrayal in the cruel sense, but an undeniable act of self-preservation and clarity. Meanwhile, Bai Lu, now aligned with Joseph Zeng, moved forward with a calm certainty that contrasted sharply with the chaos Dylan experienced. She had chosen a path not dictated by desire alone, but by what she perceived as sustainable happiness, a future built on mutual understanding and trust. Every social appearance, every subtle interaction, seemed to reinforce the choice she had made, and though it caused shockwaves in the hearts of fans, it demonstrated the raw power of personal conviction and self-awareness. Dylan, sitting in solitude, finally allowed himself to feel every emotion: grief, anger, longing, and acceptance. And in that process, he began the slow journey toward healing. He understood that love sometimes meant letting go, that rejection, while painful, could illuminate truths that passion alone could not. And though his heart was broken, he found a quiet strength emerging from the ruins, a determination to honor what had been beautiful without clinging to what could not remain. The industry, the fans, and the world watched as these intertwined lives unfolded with a level of intensity that few could comprehend. Every update, every subtle gesture, every fleeting interaction became a topic of speculation and debate. And yet, beyond the headlines and the social media frenzy, the private reality remained intimate, deeply human, and unforgettable. In the end, this story was not just about rejection, heartbreak, or scandal. It was about choice, about courage, and about the human need to find balance between love, desire, and personal peace. Bai Lu's decision, Dylan Wang's heartbreak, and Joseph Zeng's steady devotion created a narrative that would be remembered, analyzed, and felt for years to come. It was a reminder that love is not always about victory or possession, but about honesty, integrity, and the sometimes painful acknowledgement of what we truly need. Fans continue to replay the transcripts, share their theories, and discuss every nuance, every emotion, every pause in the private exchange, because this story is not just a scandal, it is a human drama, a revelation of hearts laid bare, and a testament to the complexity of relationships at the highest stakes. As Dylan eventually stepped back, reflecting on his own choices and his own heart, the message became clear. Life moves forward, love evolves, and sometimes the most shocking moments teach the deepest lessons. And for those following this saga, one truth remains undeniable. The private exchange that left Dylan Wang shattered is a story no one will forget, a moment that reshaped an industry and captivated the hearts of millions. So, viewers, do not miss a single update on the saga. Witness every emotion, every choice, and every consequence as Bai Lu, Dylan Wang, and Joseph Zeng navigate the delicate, dramatic, and unforgettable journey of love, heartbreak, and ultimate self-discovery. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join millions of fans who are experiencing the drama in real time, because this story is far from over, and every next chapter promises to be more shocking and compelling than the last. The hours after Bai Lu's rejection were unbearable for Dylan Wang. Every corner of his world felt hollow, as if the laughter and light that had once filled his life had been drained away. He wandered through the city streets, aimless, each step echoing the emptiness inside him. The neon lights of the city reflected in puddles on the ground, fractured and distorted, like the pieces of his heart scattered across the night. Fans speculated endlessly online. Social media exploded with theories, and yet no post, no comment, no rumor could touch the raw, private reality of the moment, the cold finality of Bai Lu's choice. He replayed every message, every conversation, every interaction in his mind, searching for clues, any hint he had missed, any indication that she might turn back. But the private exchange was clear, decisive, and unwavering. Bai Lu had chosen Joseph Zeng, not out of malice, not out of cruelty, but because she had finally recognized what she needed in her life. Stability, patience, calm devotion, and a sense of certainty that Dylan, despite all his passion and intensity, could not provide in that moment. As he sat in silence, Dylan realized that his heartbreak was not just about losing Bai Lu, but about confronting his own limitations, his own expectations, and the fragility of what he had taken for granted. Joseph Zeng's presence had always been there, understated but reliable, a quiet strength that Bai Lu had slowly gravitated toward without fanfare. It was a painful revelation, but Dylan knew he could not fault her for seeking what she truly needed. Meanwhile, Bai Lu's choice set off a ripple effect that no one could ignore. Interviews, posts, and insider commentary dissected the private exchange, analyzing her words, her tone, her intentions. Fans were divided, some shocked, some sympathetic, but all captivated. And yet, beneath the public frenzy, Bai Lu moved forward with a quiet resolve. Her interactions with Joseph Zeng were calm, natural, and free from the drama that had defined her past with Dylan. The contrast was stark and undeniable, a chaotic love that had burned brightly but inconsistently versus a steady presence that promised continuity and peace. Dylan, in his solitude, began the slow, painful process of acceptance. He revisited the memories he cherished, moments of laughter, intimacy, and passion, and instead of dwelling on what he had lost, he tried to appreciate the love that had existed, the lessons he had learned, and the clarity he had gained. He understood that sometimes love is not about possession, about winning, or about clinging to what cannot remain. Sometimes it is about letting go, about seeing another person choose their own path, and finding the strength to respect that decision without resentment. Days turned into weeks, and Dylan started to rebuild his life. He focused on his craft, his friendships, and his passions, channeling the raw energy of his heartbreak into growth, creativity, and self-reflection. He knew that he would always care for Bai Lu, that their time together had been meaningful and unforgettable, but he also knew that clinging to the past would only prolong his suffering. The heartbreak, though excruciating, became a catalyst for personal transformation, a reminder that pain can be the seed of resilience. Bai Lu and Joseph Zeng, meanwhile, began to quietly explore the future together. Their interactions, once carefully measured, began to carry subtle warmth, moments of shared laughter, and the gradual formation of trust. The private exchange that had shocked the world behind closed doors became, for them, a turning point, a clear decision that allowed both parties to pursue paths aligned with their deepest desires and needs. Fans continued to watch, analyze, and react. Every post, every appearance, every subtle glance became a topic of conversation. And yet, for all the public fascination, the private reality remained simple. A choice had been made, consequences had been faced, and hearts had been tested. The iconic pairing that had captured imaginations had ended, but it had also taught a lesson, that love is not always about passion alone, but about understanding, timing, and the courage to act in alignment with one's own truth. As the dust settled, Dylan Wang found clarity and self-acceptance, and Bai Lu embraced her choice with quiet strength. Joseph Zeng's steady presence offered her the peace and commitment she had sought. And though the heartbreak of fans and Dylan remained palpable, the saga concluded with a profound message. Sometimes the most shocking decisions reveal the deepest truths, and sometimes letting go is the bravest act of all. In the end, what remained unforgettable was not just the rejection or the heartbreak, but the human story at its core, of love, choice, growth, and the courage to face life honestly, even when the truth is painful, and even when it changes everything. And for the fans following every twist, every text, every private exchange, one thought lingered. The story may have ended for some, but the lessons, the drama, and the emotions would resonate forever.